I'm back in the workshop again, and today hopefully starting on the dust collection system. So you guys know we have routers, we have tools, we have things that are going to create a lot of sawdust in here. We need to control that. I looked at dust collection systems and I actually decided to do a DIY version using this. This right here is a vacuum-made central vacuum unit. This is actually a home vacuum for a central vacuum system in your home. So how a central vacuum works is you have a central mounted vacuum in your basement, in your garage, wherever you can find a spot for it. And then you run PVC piping like this throughout your home to each room. And at each room you would have an inlet on your wall. You would plug a vacuum hose into the inlet and you just vacuum. It's that simple. I know that's not meant for a workshop. It's made for home vacuuming. But even though it's not made for a workshop environment, I think it's going to work. I'm going to try it out. The reason I chose that over a conventional dust collection system is because I got that cheaper than a dust collection. But most importantly, this is a true cyclonic vacuum. There are no filters whatsoever in it. So what it does is it pulls the air into the canister on the bottom, and it has like a vortex cyclone in the bottom where it collects all the sawdust and debris. The exhaust blows out, and it's actually designed to blow outside. So I will be running a pipe going out. Since it blows outside, I don't have to worry about dust. Most dust collection systems, there's a filter involved, or a bag or something, and it usually blows into your workspace. Even though it collects most of the dust, I didn't want to doing that. So just trying to talk fast and explain it so we can get moving on this. That's the reason I'm doing it. It's a cyclonic vacuum. It's pretty heavy duty, and even though it's not made to do some of these big 4-inch hoses like on a bandsaw, I still think it's going to work good for the smaller tools like the router tables. Right now, I just have to run piping. I'm going to be using a 2-inch PVC pipe. This is vacuum piping, and it's basically thin wall PVC, very thin. So you can see that. These are both 2-inch pipes. This one's a lot thinner, this one's fat. I'm going to be running mostly this and using this adapter to convert from vacuum pipe to drain pipe. It's that easy. Alright, I think I explained it all. I'm going to get to work and just get some piping run, and I'll show you the layout when it's done. I guess I'll put up some supports first so that I have something to attach the pipes to. I'm going to be running them on the ceiling. I've been working away at this vacuum system and I think I'm essentially done, so I'm going to show it and I think you guys are going to like it. As you can see, we have all of our piping in place. I'll take you from the vacuum to the tools and how it works. Now we still got a little cleanup to do, but this is the inlet. We'll talk about that in a minute. This is the exhaust, and this is a muffler, and I bought that so it wouldn't be as loud, and it definitely does cut down on the noise. So it exhausts through here, goes down, and through the floor. Now, I just put this flange on here, and this is something you can buy, part of this vacuum tubing, just to make it neater where it goes through the floor. I didn't screw it yet, I probably will, but it's going through a hole in the floor down underneath. So that's the exhaust. And now, this is the input. Here's the adapter to go from vacuum hose to drain pipe. goes up. And there's the system. We have it going across to this router table, over there to a dead end, and then router table. I'll show you. I'm not crazy about this placement. I probably should have moved it over here, but I'll have to deal with it. On this side, I don't really know how to hook this to this yet. I'm going to figure that out later. But on these, all I did was found some 2.5-inch dust collection hose and put it right on the 2-inch pipe. So I just put a piece of pipe sticking out. Oh, and check this out. This is actually a valve to open and close it. So whatever tool I'm working on, I can open and close for that tool. And it's a gate valve. Let me show you. This is just a snug fit. I didn't glue it. I did put a screw through here into the pipe to keep it on. I didn't want to glue the valves in case I ever need to replace them, but it's basically like a rubber disc that slides over there. Now don't take any of this as a how-to because I haven't really put the system to the test yet. This is all experimental. I don't know if those valves are going to function properly over the long run. They're not made for dust, they're made for water and liquids. So will the sawdust clog them up and make them not function? I have no idea. That's why I didn't want to glue them. Overall, the system does work. I turned on the vacuum and has a really good suction to it. Can't wait to try it out. But it's a really simple system. I picked up this at Home Depot, and this is a 1 7/8 inch hose for a shop vac. And it comes with all different ends you can put on it to plug it into your shop vac. But since I'm doing a unique system, I couldn't use them. But what I found is that this 2-inch to 1.5-inch reducer, it fits like beautifully in there. Like snug fit, slides in, and has some good grip. And if I really wanted to, I could glue it in there and make it permanent. And then I can just put it on here like that. And I have that hose right there. And I'll probably end up cutting this shorter, but basically I want this for my chop saw. And that's why I wanted the smaller hose, so it can fit on the dust port on my chop saw. So that when I'm using the miter saw up here, I can collect the dust from that. And possibly small handheld tools and clearing off the workbench. That's why I haven't cut this yet, because I'm not exactly sure how long to leave it. As a final touch, I installed this switch up here on the ceiling. This may be temporary, but if I like it, I might just leave it this way. Basically, it's a switch with a low voltage wire going along this pipe. I have it zip tied on behind the pipes over here. It comes around the back here and plugs into the vacuum. And that actually activates the vacuum. It's a low voltage switch, so it's pretty easy. 2 wires go into the switch. The switch, like I said, I put it centrally located right here because I have my 2 tables, my drill press, bandsaw, everything is really pretty close to here, so it's an easy spot to turn it on and off. Just have to make sure that I have one of the gates open and the rest closed when I do it. I'm excited. Let's try it out, see how it works, see if it vacuums up the sawdust, and if it's going to work for us. Well, here it is, guys. Look at it. That's actually quite a bit of collection just from a couple of small boards. I'm pretty impressed here. Even though it didn't collect every bit of sawdust. It got a lot of it. All I did was tongue and groove these two short 3-foot pieces right here. And these are stained because we were testing different stain colors, so that's why they're like that. But just scrap wood, just putting a tongue and groove on them, collected all that, and minimal mess. This is all just dust from outside, dirt. A little bit of sawdust up here from kickback, just kicking it out. And it didn't get dusty in here at all. That's the really good part. It collected all the fine dust. So I call that a success. I also tried my chop saw. I cut this in half, collected all the dust from my chop saw. So there it is. The vacuum system is actually working pretty good. Now we just finished processing a whole pile of wood. We made a lot of tongue and groove boards, and the system kept up with it except for a couple of things. One is that our router tables, we're using some special wide cutting blades, very custom, and it flings wood chips. There's no way for our vacuum to even catch it because it's just throwing it out. So it's not catching them all, not a big deal. It's actually catching the majority of the fine dust and keeping it easy to breathe in here. The other thing is that I accidentally let the vacuum overfill. Now I thought I had more room in there than I did, and it was packed, cram-packed. We ended up getting a lot of sawdust on the floor, and Ashley was wondering why it wasn't sucking. And I checked the vacuum. The whole bottom canister was filled, and the top part was filled, and the pipe was filled, and it was fully clogged. So it can fill up really fast, and we got to keep an eye on that. Emptying it is quick and easy. It's not a big deal. The good thing is that we experienced what it happens if you do overfill it, and it was no big deal. It was easy to empty out and clean out, and it didn't ruin anything. So that's good. As a low volume, small workshop system, I'm happy with it. I'll test it out on the long run, see how it holds up, and see if there's any improvements that could be made, but so far, so good. So that's another step closer to our goals being accomplished. Really appreciate you guys coming along today and watching, but that's all we have for now. So until next time, take care.